wanna stay here with you. You are a rainbow, so I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. You are my favorite song. I am a lucky one. 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 Seasons change, but you're the same. Your love is constant. You've never lost it. Your voice is calling out my name. It makes me miss you, even when I'm with you. Oh, nobody wants to go it alone, and I just wanna stay here with you. You are a rainbow, so I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. You are my favorite song. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one.
How can I explain myself to you? What are you lurking through my mind? Is it the love of all the time? I've given my heart, my joy, my soul to you. If it is real, I sure can't see. Gotta start looking out for me. Had enough, my heart won't take no more. I know it seems that I don't care. Sometimes my ways are less than fair. Until it's time for me to take a stand. See, you have given me no choice. I feel I must exercise my voice and say,
This feeling, there's no drug that can compare. You're so cold, I can see your breath, I swear. They told me not to fall in love, wondering where it all went wrong. You were my poison all along.
big nights I lay awake in tears and pain, searching my heart for what went wrong, asking myself what's going on. I could not be seen to see things eye to eye. Somehow I didn't feel the danger, and now I'm sleeping with a stranger. To see all these years we flushed them down the drain. Now it's too late for both of us. No regret for what we lost and what we shared. Maybe tomorrow we'll love again, but until then we'll stay as friends all day.
This feeling, there's no drug that can compare. You're so cold, I can see your breath, I swear. They told me not to fall in love, wondering where it all went wrong. You were my poison all along.
As King Radio, 98.5 Speed FM. Catch us if you can.
Baby girl, poison all along.
Okay, so you're welcome and thank you for joining us this morning. It's Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Time check, 5 minutes past 9 o'clock so far, and you just finished listening to a song by Aaliyah featuring The Weeknd titled Poison. So my name is Clement, Sampson, and
MaryCynthia.
And together we're welcoming you to today's installments of The Speed Lane this morning. And yes, let's talk about something every parent, teacher, and even, well, teenagers as well probably has an opinion on. And we're talking about smartphones. Okay, now, these days you'll see kids barely tall enough to reach the kitchen counter, right? Barely tall enough to pick anything off the kitchen shelf or the kitchen counter. But already, I mean, they have this dexterity using a smartphone. Okay, so now the big question we want to ask this morning is, at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone? Okay, at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone? Okay, so is it about maturity? Is it about age? Or, well, you just have too much disposable income and then you just get one for your child? Okay, or is it like a matter of necessity? Which one is it? Okay, so at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone? That's what we're checking out this morning. And you can call us on 090-3648-5868. I take the number again, 090-3648-5868. That's the number for you to call and tell us what you think about the right age for children to be allowed to own a smartphone. Now, if you were a parent or you are a parent, maybe in point of fact, which one, like what age would you say yes, it's good enough for you to allow your children to start owning a smartphone? Okay, that's what we're checking out this morning. And you can call us to tell us your opinion. Share your opinion with us. Tell us what you think about that. Now, MaryCynthia, now let's start with ourselves right here in the studio. Now, in my own case, I didn't own a phone until I was 17, right?
Okay.
I didn't own a phone until I was 17. And even talking about the phone I even owned, it wasn't like, well, my parents or my older siblings, they just got it for me because they felt as of that age I needed to have one, right? I had it at that time because there was an available phone. It wasn't that somebody deliberately went and got me a phone. Do you understand? So it just happened by chance.
Okay.
All right. So to me, that was like, I did not get the luxury of somebody saying it is time enough for me now to get you a phone.
Okay.
Okay, because you have come of age, so you need it. Let me get it for you. It was a matter of, well, there was an idle phone just lying around, so nobody was using it. So, well, I just picked it. There was an available SIM card, and I just slotted
That was
it
like
into-
a smartphone, right? Or
It
a
wasn't-
regular?
It wasn't even a smartphone.
Okay.
It was a button phone. Yes, it was a button phone. So there was quite little I could do with it apart from, well, make calls, send text messages. I could not. It wasn't browser capable. Okay.
Okay.
Now, talking about the right age when I got my smartphone, or the age at when I got my smartphone. How about you?
Okay.
Do you recall?
Yeah, I do recall because I had a phone at around 16, and that was because I was about to go to school. It wasn't even I'm sure if I wasn't going to school or like if I wasn't just getting into the university and all, I'm not sure if I would have gotten a phone. Like, I would see my mom use her phone, my dad, and all of that. Everyone would use a phone. But then for us, the kids, me specifically, no one ever thought, okay, it's time enough for you to have a phone or to use a phone or anything like that. And funny enough, I wasn't eager to get it. But then when I had to go to school, now, someone who is just entering the university and all of that, they had to get me one. And when they got it for me, it wasn't like a smartphone, it was just a mobile phone, now, the button whole thing. And that's what they got for me. And I'm surprised they're even saying no browsing now, because me, I was using it to do assignments back then in year one.
Okay.
Like, I was using it to check, and that's where I opened my Facebook account, although it was frustrating and all. So I had a smartphone around 16. I was going to 17, sure. So, 16. In fact, 16. I remember clearly I was 16 when I used my first phone, and my parents got it for me just because I was going to school. I'm not sure they would have if I wasn't like going into the university at that time.
So, well, the thing is, You said you got it at 18. Sorry, 16. Going
Yes.
on 17. Then it wasn't you, and you were lucky to have one that was even a smartphone, right? You could even like use it to access the internet.
Now inside all those.
How come, like, who is it? Let me get some straight. Did you attend a boarding school?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. No wonder. But regardless, I still feel you got lucky though.
Lucky in what?
Yes, just hold that thought for a bit. Now it's the speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and you can join our conversation this morning. Okay, in fact, it is quite important that you do. You're the biggest person, okay, on the show right now, and we seek your opinion on the right age that children should be allowed to own a smartphone. Okay, now we're not talking about just parents. Okay, of course, parents who are like people who are currently parents right now, they are 100% welcome. Like, this concerns them totally. Okay, and then you who, of course, you're not a parent right now, but you will be. So when it comes that time, at what age would you allow your children to own a smartphone? And then also, you who is even a child, I mean, you
No, if you even call
Like-
children, they will even say right from when they were in the womb they should have owned one. So I don't even think this
I mean,
should be.
you're somebody's child. I'm not saying you must be a teenager, right? You're
Yeah.
somebody's child. So yes, you need to tell us when you got your own, like when you got your first smartphone, and I'll, of course, like to know when, like, as of then, was it like, did you feel that was the right time for you to have gotten yours? Now, in my own case, and of course, 090-3648-5868. That's the number for you to call. And we're checking out at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone. Okay, so go ahead and start calling. The phone line is officially open at 090-3648-5868. That's the number for you to call. Now, as per whether I feel like that was the right age for me to have gotten one, looking back now, I feel that was an okay time for me to own one. That was an okay time for me to own one at 17. Yes, I was close to 18 already now. I was already close to 18 already at that point. So now, as of like way before I even clocked 17, okay, like at age 14 and 15, I already had classmates who owned phones, and they were sneaking to school with these phones.
Sneaking to school, it's okay.
Their
Okay.
phones.
No, I actually applied it to my school and was thinking how you could not even sneak to school. Although you still find people that snuck a phone into school, but then when you said classmates, I just imagine it for sometimes like classmates that were sneaking to school with phones. But I just realized, okay, yours was like a day school,
I
right?
went to a day school. Yes, so
Okay.
I went to a day school. Okay, so in your own case, I'm still wondering how were you able to, like, was it allowed for you to be using a phone at your boarding school? Did they know, or you snuck?
No, I did not use a phone at boarding school though, and I did not sneak anyone. I did not sneak anyone.
Okay.
And when I was graduating from school, that was like around 15, 16 to be
okay.
honest.
Oh,
So that 16, I'm telling you, I was able to get a phone. I was already about to go to university then.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's why it was possible for you to even.
I'm not sure anyone should have thought about it because, and I think most parents don't think about getting their kids phone at a certain age because, like, kids can misunderstand things. It's not everything that they see on social media and the rest, especially with now that phones are no longer those mobile phones are no longer that much in market like it used to be back then. Back then, phone was just phone and just to make call, talk to people and all of that. But these days, phone is more than just phone that we're seeing that those days. So people go on social media, online, different things, get to connect with both good and bad people. And so parents are kind of scared. Okay, if I give my kids a phone at this age or allow them to use phones at certain age, they might misunderstand what they see on social media, and then they end up, you know how it is now when children will just end up like losing themselves and even become stubborn and all of that. Even we self that are matured now, for me, even at home, my mom still tells me anything, she relates it to my phone. Like, it's because of the phone you are going through this, it's because of the phone you have headache, it's because of this and that, or that's why you're becoming stubborn. So I feel like that's why most parents did not want their kids to own phone back then, or were they just looking at it like adult thing back then? I think so too.
So it's the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. You can call 090-3648-5868. 090-3648-5868. And this morning we're looking at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone. Okay, so go ahead and call us and tell us what you think about that. Now, MaryCynthia, you said something about some parents being afraid of their children overdoing it, overusing smartphones. But I'm telling you, it's not every parent. Okay, it's not every parent that would think like that. In fact, now I've seen parents who just leave their phone to their children, right? Just leave their their phone to their children to just do whatever. And we do have a caller here. Yes, hello and good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Welcome to the Speed Lane. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello?
From Gumalu. Hello?
Yes, good. Go ahead. What's your name, please?
My name is Enoch.
Okay, Enoch. From where?
From Guma local government.
All right, Mr. Enoch calling from Guma. So, what's your take on the right age to allow children to own a smartphone?
Children are supposed to use the smartphone from 17 above.
Okay, so why do you think so?
Because at that age, they have some are already finished secondary school, so they are supposed to use a smartphone in university.
Okay. So now you just tell me, give us your personal story now, right? When did you, what age did you start using a smartphone? When did you start even owning one?
Okay, so I didn't have too much cards, so when I start, I'll call back.
Okay, sorry about that. Thanks. But we got what Enoch said.
Yeah.
Right? His take on the right age to start owning a smartphone.
It's when they're about to get into university. Yeah.
So he said at age 17. Well, the thing is this.
But at age 17, to agree with him, at age 17, children will actually they are not children again. They actually know, they are actually more aware, they know a bit. Even these days, if you compare it back to those days, I would say, okay, even 17, you're still considered like you don't know too much. But these days, I think children are even getting wiser than, I don't want to say wiser than adults, but then, they are smarter now and they know a lot of things and they can actually differentiate right from wrong. So that's 17. I don't think it's a bad age for a child to actually start owning a smartphone. And he made mention of that getting into university and all, which was the case for me. Then, if you're not giving them a phone, how do you communicate with your kids, especially since they're just starting a new phase of life and then all of that? But for people who would go younger than that, in my case, let me defend myself, it was 16, but I don't think it's very far from the 17 that people say, okay, at least then they're about to get to university and all of that. But if you go younger than that, you see some kids have phones at 12 then and all of that. Their parents just leave them with the phones and even unsupervised and all of that. So if kids are getting phones at that age, for me really I worry, because they don't really understand what they can see, especially on social media and all of that.
Okay.
They don't really understand what they can see. They can misinterpret things and they might want to practice some things that they see online with their own selves. I came across a post or a trend some time ago that adults would try to pass out, like hold their breath until they I don't know, do you ever see that trend?
Okay, just I haven't, but just you'll continue shortly.
Okay.
All right, so you can be a part of this conversation with checking out at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone. And the number to call is 09036485868. 09036485868. At what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone? You're listening to the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. It's me, Clement, Sampson, and
MaryCynthia.
Very good. So, MaryCynthia, back to what you were talking about.
Yes, and the trend was people would hold their breath and try to pass out, like on camera. And I don't know what was the exciting thing about that. Some trends are just very useless, if you ask me. And then a child actually saw this, like he watched it happen on social media and all of that, and he tried it in real life.
Okay.
And then the parent came back and then found the child unconscious, and then just investigations, what happened, what led you to that situation. That's after the child woke up, and then he confirmed he was trying to do that trend where people would hold their breath until they pass out on social media, and then like the whole thing record it and just post. Some even do it on live. And I was like, just imagine your kid now who is around, let's say 10 to 12, because no matter what, then they know pain too. But if people are doing it and getting away with it, it's more like they feel it's harmless and stuff like that. So just imagine a child like that actually coming across those kind of posts and then wanting to try it, like practice what they are saying without actually thinking of the dangers and all of that. So for me, any age that goes down, like
Below
below 15, for me, below 15, any age that goes down below 15,
okay,
I don't think they know what they are doing that much. They know what they are doing, but not that much to not be easily influenced by things that they see on social media.
okay. So at 15, it's okay for you to see a child that owns a smartphone.
Yeah.
So even you at age 15.
So parents that are giving their kids phones at 10 to even 9, less than that, Seb, I think they are doing too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you were a parent, you could allow your child to own a smartphone at age 15.
Yeah. Age
Oh.
15 is fine.
Okay. All right. So you on the other side, what's your take on the right age to allow your children to own a smartphone? Okay. At what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone? And you can call us on 09036485868. Okay, to tell us what you think about that. Now, if your 8-year-old child asked you for a smartphone, what would you say? And what would you do? All right. Would you allow that child to have it, or you would tell the child not to?
Do you know, even apart from actually buying kids phones, some parents will still leave their own phones like unsupervised to kids. I think that's even more rampant than actually buying the kids a phone.
Okay.
Like they just let their phones with their kids, and you go to some you call some people and they say, sorry, I missed your call because my kids now, they were using my phone, and then all of that. That's why.
Or you call sometimes and then
Yes,
just
someone will
pick
be
it up.
like, yes. And I've heard my mom on call severally, even herself, like I've heard her defending, like trying to say because I have younger ones, like
Okay.
small younger ones. So like sometimes she'll be like, kids now, all of that. So one of them was with my phone and they did not give me when it was ringing. How does a child get so much interested or so much into a phone that they cannot even give you again when it's ringing? Because at first they'll be like, mommy, your phone is ringing now, but it gets to a point that what they are doing, they feel it's too interesting that they don't even want to like give you your phone again when it rings. So apart from parents actually getting phones for their kids at a certain young age, they are actually leaving their own phones too. So some parents might try to defend themselves and say, well, I do not get phone, it's just that sometimes I allow my kids to play with my own phone but unsupervised. So like
Okay. It's Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. You're listening to the Speed Lane, and this morning we're asking at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone? You can join us and be a part of this conversation. Tell us share your opinion with us, and 09036485868. 0508-223-6568. That's the number for you to call and tell us what you think about the right age for children to be allowed to own a smartphone. Okay, it's very important. I believe this is something that parents, even the like sons and daughters, right? Yes, can have an opinion about and say something about it. Now, let's talk about the downside to, like, why me, I personally feel like in my own case then, I recall then, you remember I said that even before I had my own phone, okay, when I was in SS1, SS2, at age 14 and 15 like that, I already had classmates who had phones and they were sneaking to school with these phones.
Yeah.
Now, looking back, I noticed that this was something that was a point of contention between them and their teachers because these children, as of then, during classes when the teacher would be teaching, right, these children would be on their phones. Now, the phones were not really smart then, so it was mostly gaming. Do you understand? Gaming, just put their phones beneath the desk and be gaming and be totally disconnected from what's happening in the class.
But you know that even back then, to even make it more worse now, back then it's more like people want to play games and all. But these days, if you see kids using phone under the desk, I doubt it's just gaming. No, it's not gaming anymore.
Yeah, there's a high chance it wouldn't be.
It's not just gaming anymore. Like, I don't know, but the world is not exactly where it was like back then. It's more like things are more advanced. Even kids now know more than they should. So if you see a child actually trying to sneak in a phone and all of that, is most of the time it's not just gaming anymore. They are doing something way more than gaming. Like before, it was just to play game for us. I don't think it's like that for them these days. They are doing way more dangerous, even illegal things that we as adults will not think of. The kids are thinking about them these days.
It's 09036485868. That's the number for you to call and join us on the speed lane this morning to tell us what you think about the right age. Okay, at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone? And you can call us and tell us what you think about that. Okay, now there are this set of people who would tell you that yes, it is good for my child to own a smartphone. Okay, because in this age now, it's more like a deficiency. Okay, when you cannot do some certain tech related things. Okay, when you don't know too much about some tech related stuff. Do you understand? So some parents would feel like it's an advantage for their children to own these things and start using them. But then the thing is, it is like one thing I've said before, and it is about children loving freedom. If you give it to them, they will love you for it, right? But there's a high chance they will abuse that freedom, and honestly, you don't want them to abuse freedom that you give them.
And if you're considering your child too much, like okay, you say there's a lot of things that they have to use phones for and all of that, why not give it to them supervised? You don't just allow them to go over to phone and then do whatever they like. Know what they are actually doing with it. If it's games, let it be games. If you're trying to find out more about an assignment or anything like that, let it be that, and then give them time for it. Because if you look at the effects of letting children have phones too early, you see things like children that are not sleeping anymore because of phones. Like I've come to like the sitting room sometimes, and I would see my younger sister like sneaking in my mom's phone while she has slept off, and then I'll have to call her out like, go and sleep. Sometimes she'll be there until like AM hours, and then things like that. So it will actually disturb their sleep, and then you're looking at your child like you don't know what's wrong, but something is actually wrong and you have not noticed. Also, these days there's a lot of like cyber bullying and a whole lot of stuff where kids just go online and maybe they even take a picture of themselves, and before you know, someone is out there calling your child names and making them feel less of themselves. And it starts to affect their confidence, and you don't know, because maybe it's not happening physically in your presence, so you don't even know what is happening with your child, and he's just losing his confidence and all of that, but you don't know. And then he or she, your child, like learns a habit, like a bad habit, and then you're asking questions. Where did this person learn this from? They don't do this in my house. So where is it from school? You ask from school. They say no, other kids are not doing it like that. You don't know that the culprit is in your house. Giving them phones too early, where they can barely tell that this is wrong, or this is not supposed to affect me, or I'm not supposed to be like everything I see online and all of that. So if you look at the downsides of giving them phones too early, there's a lot of it that most parents fail to understand. So it's not just about considering your child. They have to do a lot of tech stuff, and then try to find assignments, play games, and all of that.
So at what age should you allow your child to own a smartphone? That's what we're looking at this morning on the speed lane. 090-3648-5868. That's the number for you to call. So MaryCynthia said she got her first phone at the age of 16, and she feels rather that that's the best time for that was an okay time. That was the right time for her to own a phone. That she doesn't have any problems.
Because what was I supposed to do in the university? Like,
yeah, I think I agree with you also.
Okay.
Because me, the benchmark for me, where I target is 18. Okay, but then 18, I'm looking at it that at that age, the child is getting ready to leave the house for some reason, most likely because of higher institution.
Yes.
Okay, so certainly the child would need to own one. Okay, so that's why I peg mine at 18.
Well, why I'll put mine at that 15, because if I was graduating, or if I graduated from secondary school, then I'm sure someone else graduated from many other people. In fact, it's not something rare. A lot of people graduate from school around that age, and they're actually getting into the university. Because I remember even then, I was like, when my dad told me about me starting school in September, I was like, that's how it happens. Like, so because I used to have that idea of when someone finishes secondary school, they are supposed to compulsorily wait for about 1 or 2 years. How we saw them in movies then, you're supposed to wait for like a year or two or something like that before actually getting into the university. But then when he told me I was going in September, it was surprising, but then it came with a phone, so like I was fine with it. Who doesn't want a phone? And then the mobile phone was a big thing for me until I started spotting other kids with smartphones and all. And one time someone asked me for a WhatsApp number, and I did not want it to just pass. And that was the evening I called my mom and told her I could no longer use this phone to browse. I hope she is not listening to me right now. Even if she is, I mean, that was years ago, and I had to tell her it's no longer bringing the assignments and everything I need, something like that.
Okay.
So she had to send me an Android phone. And that was the beginning of me using an Android phone. I don't know if for people like my parents that I know, that phone, maybe I should have used it till I graduated self. So I don't feel bad for plotting something like that just to get an Android phone.
You just made a big confession there. I hope you don't get into trouble later though.
Nah, it's been years ago, years and years. So
okay. So it's the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. So at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone? You made a point about cyberbullying. That's a very solid point. Now we're talking about the importance of children reaching a stage of maturity that they can really handle themselves by themselves in that's very unregulated space of the internet.
Yes.
Okay. So this is now, of course, phones are everywhere. I mean, and they allow us to do plenty things. But then, unfortunately, there is social media's downside. Okay, it's dark sides that causes some kind of troubles. And it's not the first. We've heard plenty times that yes, of course, it is okay for like it has its own good sides, right? If your child is tech savvy, knows how to use a smartphone well, knows how to use knows how to use a computer pretty well. Okay, but then the thing is regulation. Now I watched a documentary some days back, and a little boy of 13 years was able to solve his sister's a murder because. Okay, so we have a call here. Yes, hello and good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes,
My name is
welcome.
Emmanuel. I'm calling from North Bank.
Okay, Emmanuel from North Bank. You're welcome to the Speed Lane.
Thank you.
Yes, please. So at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone? Are you a parent, by the way, Emmanuel?
Very soon.
Okay, Emmanuel. So just give your response to this question. Let's hear you.
Okay, what I'm thinking of, I think just before they enter secondary school, I think that's acceptable.
Like just before they get enrolled in secondary
So it
school?
should be 10, 11 years.
Oh, really?
11 years.
Okay, so why do you feel like that though?
Yeah, I think just basically for communication, then one for communication, then secondly, before you even give them the phone, I think the major apps should be taken off.
Okay.
Major apps that can bring in explicit some contents that are not good for them.
Okay. So at age 10, around that age though, right before they
Yes,
get into
around
secondary
that
school.
age, yeah. But the apps should be restricted.
Oh.
Apps.
You know that restriction is not like enough. So would you suggest giving them mobile phones then, which they will not have access to those apps, since you said it's basically just for communication? So what do you say about giving them like mobile phones that don't have all of those apps and all of that?
So, can you say again?
You mentioned that they will have to restrict apps, but you know that children these days, if you restrict those apps, it's more like they know where to go and then get it back.
Yes, restrict the apps, then monitor the phone. That's monitor the phone.
Okay, somehow you find a way to monitor the phone from wherever you are.
Yeah, for example, these days you can actually open, for example, you can track whatever they are doing on the phone with a Gmail. With a Gmail,
Okay.
you can open whatever app you are opening. The registration for the device is done with your own Gmail, so you know whatever the sites they go and all of that.
All right.
Okay. All right. So very quickly before you go, Emmanuel. Hello. So when did you get your first phone, and was it a smartphone?
It was almost at the end of secondary school.
So how old were you then?
End of 16.
16. Okay. So to you that was not even the appropriate time. You should have had it earlier than that.
Yes, because I think during school if you check the YouTube channels now, it can actually help you in learning. It
Okay.
can actually help you in learning, but.
No. All right.
We never knew all those things, but we are better informed now.
Okay. All right then.
Yes.
Thanks for calling, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, so we just heard from Emmanuel. Emmanuel feels at age 10 or thereabouts, maybe 9, 11, like that, 9, 10, 11, just before getting into secondary
He
school.
said something that I would like to comment on. That's monitoring the phone and actually tracking what they do with it by connecting through Gmail or anything like that. And from the way he sounds, that's possible, right?
Yeah,
but is that not too much? Like, is that not too much? Because to some extent, I don't think kids want to be monitored that much. If they're monitored that much, whenever they get an opportunity, they get to misuse it, because for someone like me, I'm not a stubborn person, but I'm viewing it from the perspective of a stubborn person. Because if you don't want me to do that, would I find so if I want to use anything on phone, would I find someone else's phone to do whatever I want to do, and then come back and do the things I only want you to see on my own phone, since you're monitoring it and all of that? And then if I had an opportunity to like get my own phone, then you see, for me, like if I was a kid that had those kind of like parents were tracking and then all of that, I just want to assume it from their perspective. It's more like you be in a hurry to explore a lot, the kind of apps that you could not open. You want to see what's there. You want to know what they've been hiding or what people are doing that you cannot do. So to me, though, I feel like that's going too far for parents to actually be tracking a kid, especially one in secondary, going to the university. The highest you can do is advise, not track and monitor. Like, I don't know how to put it, but I think that's going too far.
All right. 090-3648-5868. That's the number for you to call this morning to tell us at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone. And you're listening to The Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5. My name is Clement, Sampson, and
MaryCynthia.
of course, okay. Now, talking about tracking the phone, right? That requires a lot of effort, a lot of time. I mean, for you to successfully do that, then you'll be very, very.
You can actually come back and check. You don't have to put your eyes on phone. I believe if there's a technology like that, then it's something that will take records. So you come back and just go through a list of, okay, what has this person done today, and then all of that. And maybe you talk to them later. I saw you did this today. I saw you did that. But still, I feel like it's too much. For some reason, kids should have their own little space and not make them feel like you're monitoring them too much. Me, I wasn't that monitored, but
even when it comes to smartphones, me, I wouldn't even feel any form of reservations, as in about letting my child know that I am monitoring how you use this device. I would not be soft. I would not code it for that child. Let the child know that this is a privilege I'm giving you. Okay, don't think it's a right. I can take it away from you. Okay, so if you misuse this device I am giving you, I can suspend your usage of this phone. So let the child even know.
That's not monitoring that's not the monitoring. Like, what I'm actually saying in this sense of monitoring, like that you actually connect it to something that you can see, you can watch, and just be watching all of that. And if it comes to saying if you misbehave with this phone, if you do something, I can take it back from you. Fine, yes, sure. I could actually take a phone back from a kid if they were misbehaving and then all of that. But in the sense of just following them up every day, trying to see what they are doing, trying to see this. Okay, maybe for the first few days, sometimes my dad used to do that. Then you just say, bring your phone, let me see. And then just take it, look through some things, and then all of that. See this thing you're keeping here. What are you using it for? That's how you people, even the things that were not actually harmful or were not inappropriate, he would still complain about them. Okay. But at some point he realized that, okay, I wasn't really doing anything that he should be that protective about, and he just let it be. So if you say actually connecting your phone or a tracking system, something like that, I think it's too much for me. I don't know, maybe other parents will agree with it, but they should be the one to call in and say that. For me, it's too much.
Yeah, sure thing. So it's the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and this morning we're still checking out at what age should children be allowed to own a smartphone. And you can call us on 090-3648-5868. That's the number for you to call to tell us what you think. So would you, at what age would you allow your child to own a smartphone? That's what we're looking at this morning. Now, in the age of technology, smartphones are inevitable. Okay, they are inevitable. They are everywhere. But then the thing is, children, like I was saying before, if you allow them too much access to your smartphone, let's even talk about the fact of how this is not their phone yet. They're not owning it yet. It's just your own that you're even giving them access to. See how it distracts them, right? For something like gaming, on a smartphone, that can be very distracting. So I've seen how engrossed the child becomes using a smartphone. Watching videos, playing games. Yes, of course, you can put restrictions on the phone, so that the child doesn't get access to some sites or some apps that you feel could be harmful to that child. But then, even as something that seems less harmful, that it's good enough for a child, such as gaming, that can be a huge distraction for a child.
True. The idea of for restricting some things and all of that, even the ones you leave, could turn out to be harmful. So for me, it's just about supervision from time to time. And also, you should be able to know your kids. Like, if you watch them, you should know that this person is capable of this, and this one is actually doing something. Like, if you supervise them from time to time, like, just check, what are you doing? You don't have to do it like you're being overprotective or anything, because once they sense that, for some reason, I think it's human instinct, or is it with a child, once they sense that you're being overprotective or trying to monitor them, they tend to do more of what they are not supposed to do. For me, that's how I see it. They try to look for that thing that you're stopping them from seeing. That's how I see it. The more you try to put that pressure on kids, try to overprotect them, the little opportunity they get, they want to go as far as they can and see what you have been stopping them from seeing. So, like, supervise from time to time, ask your kids question, and when it sounds like 2 and 2 is not adding up, like, if it's not right, then okay, this is time for you to actually investigate and know what's up with why they are acting a certain way or what's influencing their behavior. But to just say monitor a kid's phone, track, like, put that tracking device or whatever Emmanuel was suggesting earlier, it's going too far for me. And I think going too far like that with kids can actually make them to not feel free, and then when they get a little opportunity, they tend to do more than they should have done if they were free in the first place.
So like, if you can't avoid it, like, because I think sometimes assignments, right? Sometimes now in this present day, in this modern day educational system, sometimes assignments have to be done through smartphone, especially after the COVID era, or during and even after the COVID era. That stayed more interaction with smart devices. Smart devices being used in education.
Kids are even getting too lazy these days. If you talk about smartphones and assignments, because back then it's more like then in secondary school, even secondary school kids these days want to use mommy's phone for assignment. But back then we were using, I don't know, we're somehow finding the answers to our assignments without phones. We're using textbooks, different ones to compare and all of that, all the answers. But any small thing, a child just comes up to you, auntie, please help me search what is a noun on, like. So I think they're getting lazier if it even comes to that aspect of assignments. Although it's not a bad thing for a kid to want to know more through, like, searching and all of that, but then they are getting lazy too, if you ask me.
Yeah, so it comes down to control. You control the child. Like, if it's something that you cannot keep the child from, because as far as I see it, I do feel it is something that I can control. When it comes to that time. But then there are this set of parents too who just give in to their children's whims, right? I feel like this is way beyond me too. I can't stop. I mean, it's the trend right now, so I'll just have to let the child be. Now the thing is, you have to apply control regardless. If you feel like, okay, at age 10 my child can start owning a smartphone, okay, but then it means you have to be there to control the child's usage of that smartphone. Okay, so the child doesn't get access to unnecessary stuff, and then also, and the child doesn't get consumed by even the seemingly innocent things like gaming. Okay, So you have to be there physically to put boundaries, and something like making the child to drop the phone at certain times and rather maybe pick up a book and read. Right, this is you rather being deliberate about how the child uses you. Of course, you granted the child access to smartphone, right? You allowed him to own a smartphone, but then you're making sure he uses it responsible and not to his own disadvantage. Because smartphones, for example, now when you're using them, I mean, talking about proximity, they're not like TV screens whereby you sit at a distance and you watch them. Okay, you have to keep them closer to your face than you would keep a TV in front of you, right? So as a child from that early age, it's going to be causing damage to the child's eyesight too.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes, and even with the getting addicted to the phone and then ignoring their sleep or ignoring even socializing outside with other children. Yes, so apart from even their eyesight, even sleep could affect your eyesight too, and even every other aspect of your body, like your health. It could affect your health when you're not sleeping. You're spending too much screen time, and even your brain. It does a lot of things to health as well, apart from just physical things like a child misbehaving and all of that. To your health also it affects.
So basically, well, I just feel like that it's not advisable to allow a child that is below that is below 16 to own a smartphone.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is not advisable. Okay, the child should not own it. The child I can give the child supervised access. Okay, only when it is necessary. But then the access would be so limited. In fact, that child cannot claim ownership of that device. The only time a child should claim ownership of a device, right, is only when that child is of this real age, as far as I'm concerned, real age of reasoning, which is like from 16 or 17. Because for a secondary school child, having a phone that they have all access to, I mean, that could be a distraction, honestly. And you don't want, I don't think it's nice for a child to lose touch with hard copy literature, like hard copy books.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So I think a child below that age of 17, 16, I wouldn't want that child to own a smartphone. That's just me personally speaking. But everybody's entitled to their opinions though. So we've heard Emmanuel talking about how he would allow his 10-year-old child to own a smartphone even before going into secondary school. But that's just the thing. The downsides to it, as far as I'm concerned, are plentier, okay, than the plus sides of it.
Plenty. When you're allowing kids own smartphones at a younger age, that they should have no business with a smartphone at 10, if you ask me. But I mean, the opinions are different.
Sure thing. And this is how we'll just have to wrap it up on the speed lane this morning. And this morning we looked at what age should a child be allowed to own a smartphone. Okay, and opinions vary. MaryCynthia said 16, I said 17. That's okay. And we had a caller who said 10. Okay. And another one who said 17 as well too. So the opinions will vary on this one. But then the thing is, it is best that regardless of whenever you allow your child to own a smartphone, you should be very sure that the child would be responsible enough to use it at that time. And if the child if that child is not of the age where you could say yes, that child is responsible enough to start using a smartphone, which is 18 actually, then it means you have to regulate how that child uses that smartphone. So they use it not to their disadvantage, but to use it in a way that would be safe for them to utilize. And so what comes up at 10 a.m.? Coming up
at 10 a.m. is King James 90s Top 10.
Sure thing. And so you just keep your dial locked on 98.5. We're talking about Speed FM. And this has been the Speed Lane with Clement, Sampson, and
MaryCynthia.
now this is where we just have to wrap things up to also enjoy the rest of your day.